What is up, you guys? It is your boy Watt back for another video, and today we're going to be going over some poker hands. This is my first time doing this on the channel, so stay with me, guys. I know it's probably not what you're used to seeing from me, but this is something that I love doing, and I hope to get into more. On the main channel, I'm going to be posting every Monday and Thursday, and it's going to be like a normal, cool vlog. And then on this channel, I'll try to post at least once to twice a week, and those will be either on a Tuesday or maybe even a Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday. No posts on the weekends. So if you don't have any content over there, make sure you guys come over here. It's probably going to be poker vlogs on this channel, and then maybe some gaming content as well. But stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into some poker hands. So for this very first video ever, we're going to be going to a house game. I've always wanted to do some poker vlogs because I watch a lot of people like Alexander Wolfgang, Mariana Poker, Brad Owen, you know, all the big poker people. But I wasn't necessarily sure how to do a poker vlog, or at least how to do it right. And I'm still not. I don't know. I'm going to figure this out as we go. Either way, I was playing poker at Morongo, and I got invited by some nice young men to come and play at their house game a little while back. So this is from about a week ago. I haven't had a chance to record this yet, so that's why I'm doing it now. All right, first things first, we start off in the hijack. I look down on my hand. I got ace jack offsuit. I decided to limp in because we're just playing 1-1 at this point, and it seems like it's being a pretty friendly game, and I'm not gonna do anything too crazy. We get like 5 or 6 callers, so it's pretty much a family pot. Flop comes down ace king for rainbow. It checks around to me, and I end up raising it since we got top pair and pretty good kicker. And I get 2 callers. It's the player on my right and the button. The turn comes down the 8 of hearts, and it checks around to me again. And so I raise to $4, and I get 1 loose caller on my right. He says he's on a draw. I don't know these guys very well, so I can't tell if he's just saying that just to be, you know, like, oh, I'm on a draw, but he actually has ace king or something. I'm not really sure. I don't know these guys very well. Either way, I'm gonna keep that in mind, stay cautious. This is my first hand that I was involved with, and I saw that he was playing fairly loose, so I decided that I was gonna kind of take control of this situation. River comes down the 9 of spades. He checks to me, and then I bet 10, and he folds, and I take it down. Sometimes the game's easy. We are in the big blind. We look down at jack of clubs and jack of diamonds. We got the pocket jiggities in the big blind, which is, I think, a pretty good position. Under the gun, +2 raises to $5. We get 2 callers. I re-raise to $15, and only under the gun +2 calls. The flop comes down queen, 8, 7, or 2 hearts on the board, so that's something I gotta be conscious of. I think maybe he's got a flush draw there, but not often. I bet $6, and he ends up shoving, and I snap call. The turn comes a 4 of clubs, and the river is a 6 of diamonds, so flush draw breaks out, but there is a straight draw to be worried about, but I doubt he's on that. He flips over his cards. He's got pocket 9s. I show my jacks, and we are good. So now I doubled up, and I got about 75 in my stack. Looking down at hand number 4, I got king 8 offsuit in the cutoff. It limps around all the way to me, and so I just decided to limp here because what am I gonna do? Raise with king 8? Now I should probably fold this. If somebody bet, I would have folded, but nobody did, so I'm gonna limp it. And thank God nobody did, because the flop comes down king 8 5 with 2 hearts. So I do have to be conscious of the flush draw here. I think we should be okay. Under the gun checks, and the player on my right, who's the loose player from I think the very first hand, ends up raising it to $6. I re-raised to $18 since I got top 2 pair. Under the gun does not look happy about it, but he ends up putting in the call, and then the player on my right ends up shoving for about $30 more. I snap call, and then the under the gun player, who did not look happy about it, has to put in the call. He calls for a little bit less. Now I'm just gonna let this play out, and then I'll show you what they had at the end.
It's good for me. Alright, call.
You fucking kidding me? Hold on. I gotta call, dude. I lose this hand, I'm going home. Same here. I'm serious. If I lose this hand, I'm going home.
I should have folded then. I want you guys to go home.
Oh, I ain't so fucked. I should have folded. I know what you have. Ready? That's one of your cards. Pocket Jace. Two pair, baby. You won, bro. Yes. Damn.
Thank God the heart didn't come on the all-in, right? We got really lucky there. I think that the player on my right, the loose player, should have raised pre-flop. I think he's a newer player. He might be a little bit scared about raising pre-flop, but I mean, you got pocket jacks there. If you raise to I don't know, $6, $7, I'm folding my king 8. I'd never have been in that hand, and he would have won it easily. He could have went all in. The other player probably would have called, would have bricked out on his flush draw. Good for me though. I'm glad everybody limped in and let me into the hand as a lesson to learn for me. Never limp into a pot if you got the goods. Unfortunately though, those two guys went home, so we ended up playing like four-handed for a little bit until some more players came, and this is where the night got interesting. We started playing some 1-2 once we got a couple more players, and I looked down at 8-5 of diamonds. It limps around, we got about 5 people in the pot. Flop comes down 7 of hearts, 5 of spades, and jack of spades. Checks around again, I got 1 pair on the board with a pretty terrible kicker. Turn comes the ace of diamonds, so I'm thinking maybe I should be betting into some people, but I don't know, I don't think it's a smart idea. I think I played fine. Anyways, I raised $3 in the hijack calls. The river is the king of spades, so now the spade draw gets there. The hijack ends up raising to $4 and I call. I just want to see what he has. He shows ace 4 offsuit and takes the pot down. I know that he was a pretty loose player, and that's why I was being sticky. I thought he might be trying to bluff on that one, and that's the only reason I called, but I just wanted to see what he had there. Ace 4 definitely is something that he could have had there, especially in a limped in pot, so maybe I shouldn't do that, but I definitely wanted to see his hand for future value. Let's cut our losses and get into the next one.
Great, 4 total.
In this next hand, I'm in the hijack and I look down at king deuce of hearts. This is a straddled pot, so we got 4 callers and I just end up lipping into it. So we end up going 3 ways to the flop. Actually, sorry, 4 ways to the flop, which comes down 4 of clubs, 10 of hearts, and the 6 of hearts. Now I got the second nut flush draw here, and that's about it. I got 1 over to the board, but I mean, my deuce is a little scary. I should never be in this hand. King deuce is not a good hand to play, but sometimes you catch the flush, and I don't know, I guess I was being a gambler in this situation. Anyways, the player directly to my left ends up raising to $20 from the button, and everyone folds, and I just feel like I'm a little sticky here. I gotta make the call. The turn comes down the queen of clubs, which is kind of a total break here. I don't think he's got a queen. What's he betting into on this? Probably an over, maybe ace 10, something of that situation. Hopefully he doesn't have the ace of hearts, but in my head I'm thinking maybe he has ace of hearts with like the 10 of clubs or something like that, and maybe he was looking for an extra heart. We end up both checking. The river comes down at the 4 of hearts, so I get the second nut flush. I check like a freaking boss, and he bets 20. I make it 60, and he ends up calling and shows pocket kings. What a cooler. Sorry, bro. That's sick. But you gotta raise pre-flop. It's not my fault. Raise pre-flop. I'll never be in the hand. Okay, this hand is great. So the super loose player that I was talking about earlier, do you guys remember that? The one with ace 4? Well, I get into it with him in this hand, and it's pretty crazy. Unfortunately, I did not get any film from this, so you're just gonna have to trust me, but it's a good time. So we're in the big blind. We look down at 9 of diamonds, 6 of hearts. This is not a hand we ever want to have, but it was a straddled pot. I end up just making the call for $2 more since we're playing 1-2 now, and we're going 4 ways to the flop, which comes down 5 of diamonds, 7 of clubs, 10 of clubs. So we got a gutter ball here, and under the gun raises it to $5, and the small blind and I call. Turn comes down the 6 of diamonds, so we end up still having a gutter ball, but we end up making a pair now. Under the gun, which is, just remember, the aggressive player from earlier, raises to 14, and we both make the call. I'm wondering what the other player could have here. Maybe he's on a straight draw as well, maybe a flush draw, I'm not really sure, but the river comes down at the queen of diamonds, and he goes all in for $16, and the player on my right ends up folding. So when he bets the 16, I don't know what he expects me to do here. It's $16 that I have to bet in order to win like 80 bucks or so. So obviously I'm gonna make the call with just a 6. I only have to be right here like 1 in every so often times. So I end up making the call strictly because he is that super loose player. I show my cards because he wasn't showing his, and I got a pair of 6s. He gets really tilted and ends up mucking. Later he said that he had king jack suited, but I don't know, there's a lot of money in that pot. Also, I just remembered that he was the button. He's the one that straddled because we were doing straddles on the button. He was not under the gun, so I kept checking to him, and he was making the bets. We end up playing a couple more hands, but it looks like the night's coming to an end. There's only 3 of us actually playing now, so we decided just to make some funny bets. We just put $10 into the pot, see all the way to the river, and we'll just show our cards. I end up losing both of those that we did, so congrats to Tony, the guy that did end up winning. We were in for $40, and then we ended up cashing out for $224, which is a profit of $184. Not bad for a 1-2 game, not bad for our first ever poker vlog. Shout out to Tony and the guys for having me over and letting me come play. I actually had a really good time, and it's always fun when you win, but even just aside from that, it was a good time over at that house. Hopefully I'll come back and maybe do a couple more poker vlogs there. We'll have to see. But here's a message I had from the end of the video.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. That's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks to Tony and everyone for coming out. Thanks for having me, and for everyone else for coming out. Making it a good session. Make sure you guys leave a like on the video and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you guys liked the hands I played or if I was doing really bad. Let us know if all of us did bad. That's going to be it for today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this poker vlog. I hope to do more of these in the future. Let me know if you guys would like to see more, because honestly, I think they're really fun, and I don't know. Hopefully we can see what else can come of this. But that's gonna be it for today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. I love you all. Peace out. Don't forget to leave a comment. Bye.